And we are on. Hello and welcome to Sports Unhinged. I am Mohammed and I'm joined by Eugita, Mark, Coach, and we've got a Green Bay Packers fan back in here. You had a bye week in the wild card round. The Green Bay Packers going up against the 49ers this week. Darla, how do you feel going into this weekend?
Well, to be completely honest with you, I am always super nervous about my team after they come off of a bye week, because we just don't have a lot of good history coming off of a bye week. But it's going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
You're playing at home.
We're getting Cobb back. We're playing at home. It's going to be cold. I mean, it is cold right now, so the weather's going to be a factor for our, California 49ers. But yeah, so it's going to be good. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a really good game. But I'm going to go against Mark's prediction of the Packers or whatever team goes into Lambeau Field. You've been listening to previous
episodes, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Whatever team goes into Lambeau Field is going to win.
Whatever crap Mark is talking about.
Yeah.
Keyed in.
I listened to that and he caught hell because of it.
I can imagine.
Very true. I've got to be honest. I got a lot of shit.
All right, we'll come back and preview the game properly, but I think let's start off by reviewing last week's games. And Eugita, I mean, hey, aren't you grateful for the Dallas Cowboys? Because they took away all of the attentions. I'm talking about the memes. I'm talking about the ridicule. I'm talking about all of that. It should have been directed at the Eagles. It was a non-competitive game, 31-15 against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. But it was the Cowboys that really messed up and took most of the attention there. How did you feel about that game? It was crucial. We were texting during that game and you were suffering. So share a little bit of what it was like.
I refused to come on the Zoom.
Yes, you did. You did.
Hey. Well, yeah, I mean, Dallas did. So did Arizona. So, yeah, it doesn't make it any better. But, yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, look, I had them going, I think it was 6-11 for the season, so they exceeded my expectations. But then, you got time to go back and look at this body of work that got them to the playoffs. And then, all this euphoria of getting to the playoffs. Who did they play? Who did they win against? Oh, my God, it's Tyler Heineke and Simmons and Fromm and Wilson. And I looked at stats from when they played Mahomes, Brady, 5 top-tier guys, 6 games, 2,058 yards, 81% completion, this defense. So, look, I didn't expect them to win, but I did expect them to be competitive. But, they just let their identity go, I know Tampa Bay's great run defense. They had JPP back, but I didn't expect them not to try to carry it, 17 times.
Right.
The last 11 weeks, we're looking at 25, 38 attempts per game, 180 yards. This was 17 carries for 80 yards. I mean,
how long did it take you to memorize all those numbers?
He's got a piece of paper in front of him.
5 days.
You're just spitting them off. It's like
5 days.
It's like you've got all these cards in front of you.
Don't question Eugita's routine. I mean, he writes these down and
I had to go back and look
in the living room, just learning them all week.
and saying why 17, why? Okay.
Do you think the scoreline flattered Philly in the end?
Say again.
Do you think the scoreline flattered Philadelphia?
Absolutely not. The reason why they even got 15 or whatever points is because Tampa took off the heat a bit. Yeah. There was this little gap when was Tristan Wirth went off, and then we could sack him a bit. But again, on the offense, they went back to try getting Hurts to play a passing game, which was horrible at in the first 7 weeks. 30 some attempts. And then, but I look more at what Jonathan Gannon did in the defense, and there was no creativity. This was an easy one for Tom Brady. 4-man rush, 5-man rush, soft corners, cover 2, cover 3. There was no backing off from the line to kind of creative blitzes.
Can I give you a coach's perspective? can we give a little, homage to the coaches on confusing your people? And I mean your people by the Philadelphia offense and what they're looking at or what they're not looking at. I don't want to say that Philadelphia is going to win it all, but I think they did a really good job of, you said cover 3, cover 4, but also of who's coming, who's not. Yeah.
Right.
And confusing on Hurts of, even in the RPOs of, I'm going to RPO right. I'm looking, I have an option to pass. Oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen now.
I was actually talking about Philly's defense. Tampa Bay was creative. I'm talking about Jonathan Gannon's defense in Philly. There was no creativity at all. I mean, Tom Brady, he didn't have to think. There was no post-snap movement. I mean, he was ready with the second progression, and it was all over. There was no way we were going to win that game from the first quarter. There was no way. There was no second quarter comeback like in the last 2-3 weeks of the regular season. Yeah, look, I mean, they did well enough. First year coach, first year offensive coordinator, first year defensive coordinator. They did well enough. There's a lot to do. Hurts got to work on his arm, stuff like that. Maybe another receiver. But yeah, I'm on your side now.
And I think this happened with quite a few games in this round, right? It was almost like the NBA playoffs, where it's just a routine game, and you know that the favorite is going to win, and it just becomes like it's not really watchable. They win by quite a bit. Now the NFL is not supposed to be like that in the playoffs. The NFL decided to expand the number of teams that make it to the playoffs to 14. Mark, do you think that 12 was the perfect number and that they shouldn't have done this? It's made it a bit non-competitive for one round of the playoffs?
Yes, I just think there were some easy games last weekend. But the viewing figures were great, so don't expect the NFL to drop it anytime soon. They were 20% up on last year, television figures. And that's what they're governed by. They're the ones who pay the bills. The advertisers will be happy. The NFL will be really happy. The clubs are making more money, so it's not going to change. But this time next year, we might have the same conversation of we've had another weekend of a few uncompetitive games.
Okay. Now, Eugita, before we move on from the Eagles, I know I shared with you an article that mentioned 4 quarterbacks that the Panthers should be trying to trade for, and one of them was Jalen Hurts. How do you feel about this? I mean, is Jalen Hurts the quarterback for the future for Philly, or should they be looking to trade him for somebody else?
Like I said, I don't know, man. I mean, he's somebody you can work with, but he hasn't got the arm. He's not going to win games, Tom, so I don't know why you want him. Okay? So there's a lot of...
Do you see what we have?
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. And we have a habit of paying quarterbacks that play for other teams eventually. So we're happy to ship Sam Darnold off and still pay for his
look, he's going to be good at being mobile, going here and there, but he's not going to win you games from his arm yet. He hasn't got the accuracy. He hasn't got any intermediate passing game. So, yeah, he'll do, great 30, 40-yard, whatever stuff once in a while. But I don't know. I don't know what Philly will do. We've got 3 first-round picks. One of them might be a quarterback, just to get Hurts, thinking. I don't know. Yeah. But, good luck if you get him. That's all I can say.
So maybe you want to trade him to Alabama or Oklahoma?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Coach, let's
put down
move on.
The wine bottle, Coach.
Let's move on to the 49ers-Cowboys game. The 49ers-Cowboys game. I don't know how it was for you at home, but, it must have been quite a lot of frustration. First of all, I want to ask, did the missus break the TV? Because I saw a lot of clips of Cowboys fans breaking TVs on that last play in the Cowboys game.
Thank goodness she did not. Thank goodness it was in the middle of the night. And when we watched the next day, she looked at her statistician, we'll say, and went, "Why the hell did you pick the Cowboys? They're terrible." Right. So look, at the end of the day, I think they were who we, what is it? Denny Green says
Yeah.
they were who we thought they were.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That last play, that quarterback draw with 14 seconds left, knowing that they have to give the ball back to the referee to spot it before they continue. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And Mike McCarthy doubled down and said that it was the right play and that they practiced it many times, maybe under perfect conditions, not under playoff conditions, right?
I'm not an NFL coach. I'm definitely not a college coach, but I coached in high school for almost 17 years. And at nowhere in any point in a 2-minute drill or a 4-minute drill did we have a quarterback draw. Nowhere. Never. Not one time, not one single time ever. And I'm not saying they might not have, and you can blame it on the ref or he's slow, but you also have to coach the quarter or the players up, right? If you get caught or if we throw it inside, even if it's not a quarterback draw, and we throw a quick hitch or a quick slant, what do we teach that receiver to do? Get up, take the ball, give it to the umpire. Yes?
Right.
And that's not what happened. And ultimately, you can blame it on whatever. You can blame it, oh, yes, we practiced that play. Okay, well, I never have, and we've never had that in our 2-minute drill. But at the end of the day, you also have some guy in the quarterback's helmet.
Right.
Yeah? And if we're going to run that, you say, all right, the moment you get down, give the ball to the umpire.
Right.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Absolutely. Now, the 49ers did look good. Darla, go ahead.
I'm just going to butt in here and say that I honestly don't feel like that one play lost them the game because McCarthy being a former Packers coach, I saw it when he was our coach. To me, it feels like when he's coaching, the teams are not disciplined. I mean, we like penalty after penalty. When I was watching that game, I was like, are you kidding me? These are like silly penalties that are so unnecessary. And it's like they beat themselves.
Absolutely. And it's typical Cowboys, right? I mean, on paper, they should have been the best team in the NFL right now. And they going into the playoffs, they should have been the team that everybody doesn't want to play against. But they actually shot themselves in the foot. It was the discipline on the defense, the Randy Gregory penalty. There was another penalty after that kind of took out a big play as well. And it comes down to McCarthy, right? There's no discipline there. He doubled down and said that, that play call was the correct play call. And we kind of talked about this throughout the season. We said that when it matters the most, I think McCarthy will be the one that probably throws it away. But that play, do you think, Darla, that took away a lot of attention from how badly Dak Prescott played? I mean, he had 23 out of 43 completions. Yeah. And he's the guy that just got paid the big bucks, the $70 million, right? And he was supposed to lead this Dallas team further. And now they struggle to get to a championship game for like 26, 27 years running now.
It was such a disappointing ending that's all you can think about when you think about that game. I think it did take the spotlight off of Dak.
For the moment, I think it's going to be analysed in the off season, though, isn't it? And people are actually going to look at that game and think, hang on, even before that last play, we weren't good.
Yeah.
Right.
And we just had too many underperforming stars out there.
Absolutely.
The O-line was terrible. He was sacked 5 times. And what did they do in the run game? 16 carries between Elliott and Pollard. It's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Now let's go to the other side of that game, the 49ers, Darla. They're going up against the Green Bay Packers. Deebo Samuel looked incredible.
Packers.
Jimmy Garoppolo didn't look bad at all. The defense actually did fantastic. They lost Nick Bosa early in the game. Fred Warner is injured, but they looked like a threatening team. I feel this is the team that the Colts would have been, I feel, if they had gone on a run at the end of the season and made the playoffs. It's the team that nobody wants to play. But now it's the 49ers. Now they're going up against your Green Bay Packers this week. What should the Packers be worried about?
Their running game.
Yeah. I mean, he's Deebo Samuel. He runs, he receives.
Oh my gosh,
everything.
He's a beast. Yeah. He's a beast. And Packers are known to like, I mean, it's it's no secret that we struggle when it comes to stopping the running game. So this is not going to be an easy game for us to win. I think we have an advantage, but it's not going to be an easy game for us to win. Debo, to me, Samuel is just, he's amazing. But we've got some good people coming back off of an injured reserve. So I feel like it's going to be a good game.
Mark, now Vegas has the Green Bay Packers as -6-point favorites. Do you think that is too much, underestimating the 49ers here?
No, I think, let's be realistic. The Packers should be favorites. They're at home. They've got every advantage weather-wise. Darla says they're getting some guys back as well. So I can understand Vegas doing that. I just don't think it's going to end up as -6. But the Packers are going to implode either this week or next week, so I don't care.
Okay, let's go.
You say they are going to implode?
Of course. You're not going to get the Super Bowl.
Okay, Mark.
Okay,
We'll
let's go round the room here and give our picks for this particular game. All right, 49ers, Packers. Mark, what have you got?
49ers.
49ers by a lot, by...
Oh, no. Probably by a missed field goal, couple, 3.
Ujita?
But I don't want to
I'm
look
going to
at
get
Darla.
so much stick for this.
How can I not look at Darla when I'm saying this? But I think the 49ers will give it a go, man. But then again, like she said, there's some important guys coming back. Jair Alexander, Whitney Marcellus. This could stop the run. But I think from what I saw against Dallas, San Fran could get this game. If they have Bosa back, Fred Warner.
Yeah.
I think
Coach?
I'll take San Fran.
Coach?
Hey, listen, I think San Fran's played their playoff game. I think that's their game to prove to everyone that they have what it takes. And I think Green Bay big.
Green Bay big. Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
Darla, I think you concur.
Absolutely.
You don't need to get Darla an apple.
Okay. I've got the 49ers winning 31-29. And like Mark said, it will be down to a field goal right at the end. I don't know why. I have a feeling that this is
I will
where...
be so sick. Oh my God, those missed field goals and extra points are just haunting me.
I think Green Bay's had one of those games earlier this season.
Well, San Fran.
Yes.
San Fran gave them 30 seconds to come back. Yep.
There was one game, you're right, Coach, where they couldn't score a field goal to save their lives. They just kept missing. It could happen. I don't know.
I think, I'm not sure, but I think he's only missed one field goal since that game. Only one.
Coach, don't. Oh man, don't be saying stuff like that.
You
Now
went
it's out
up and you took
oh.
it down. Yeah.
I'm still thinking. Look, I think Green Bay's the team to beat. I think their worry. You asked Darla earlier, what do we have to worry about? I think Tampa Bay is their worry. I think they are their juju.
Yeah. If they get to the next round. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry we're not as friendly as the Pat McAfee show are to Aaron Rodgers, Darla. We're ganging up a little bit here on you.
It's okay. I can take it. It's all right.
It's all Mark's fault. We were big Packers fans.
He's the most
At one
valuable unvaxxed player.
The most valuable MVP.
Speaking of the MVP,
The movie P.
MVP.
the MVP,
baby.
Ujitha, what are you thinking? Still Stafford?
Oh yeah, look, he was always in the discussion, and he still is. If
Are
the
you
regular
kidding me?
season was still going on, he's still.
No.
in
Season
the
is done.
discussion.
I think there's no discussion.
I'm saying if it was,
Don't
Yeah,
do
it was.
drugs, kids.
Oh
he's
my
still in
God.
the discussion. I never said he would be the MVP. I said he's in the discussion.
Is in the discussion.
Oh, now you're changing your story a little bit, but
Hey,
it's okay. It's
this
okay.
is what happens. Look at all these people in the back, fake news.
It's okay.
In fairness, I've been a little bit of a critic of Matthew Stafford, but last week he was almost
He
perfect.
looked great.
He had a
looked great.
150
He did.
pass
He did.
rating, and
But
Darla and I
we
were
all know how
chatting through the game.
inconsistent he is too.
Listen,
Though.
Aaron Rodgers, he is not.
No,
Oh,
No.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
And he
You know,
never will be. Let's face it.
Eugita, I'm so used to Mark giving me crap about Aaron Rodgers that anything that you say isn't going to
Yeah.
faze me. Like every week.
Every week, huh?
Thank
And
you for the
I don't know
keyword.
why he would do that. I mean, he's
what are
he's
you
a
saying? Are you asking for help? Not
Oh,
sure.
no.
Blink twice. I'm not sure what to do anymore.
No, but I'm saying if Mark is giving you a lot of crap every week, I mean, glass houses, right? I mean, he's a Chicago Bears fan. There's a lot more material that you have on
Yeah.
him than he has on you. I mean, what are you doing, Mark? I
We're
mean,
known for our quarterbacks. Not known to be good ones.
Right.
No. We're not known to have good ones, but we are known for our quarterbacks.
I
right.
will admit my quarterback has given the media a lot to talk about this
Right.
year.
A lot
We
of
won't
fuel.
go there. And
Now,
that's,
Now, since we brought up the MVP, if you look at Tom Brady's numbers, he's been quietly his numbers look a little bit better than Aaron Rodgers, but I think everybody's the consensus is that Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. Which way do you think this is going to go? Let's start with Eugita.
No, I'll go with Aaron Rodgers on this. I mean, he was more valuable
what?
for Green Bay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not all hate, you know? I'm not like Mark. I'm not all hate. Yeah. I got humanity in me. So yeah,
Coach?
that's where I go.
You know, I think the most valuable player in the league versus the most valuable player to their team. If I had a vote, I would probably vote Rodgers. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think when the team succeeds, man, it's hard to go against Brady.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's the most valuable player to his team and the most valuable player of the league, and everything that happens, especially since that first week Saints loss. I think Rodgers has proved his worth, but the most valuable player to his team and keep them and put them on his shoulders, I think Brady. So, you know, I might even split it.
Is that something that voters can do?
Yeah.
Oh, they can split it? I didn't know that. Okay, cool. Mark?
Brady.
Brady. All right, cool.
That was given.
All right.
His numbers are better.
Didn't even need to ask.
Nah.
Who do you vote?
Me?
Muhammad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well,
Try to get away with that.
I've got Tom Brady, actually.
Move on quick.
No, I've
Move
got
on
Tom
quick.
Brady. I think considering what's happened with the Buccaneers, right, this year with Godwin out, with Antonio Brown's shenanigans and all of that, the fact that Tom Brady is still consistent, I feel that the Packers have a lot more weapons than the Buccaneers do. And Tom Brady's just that performance against the Eagles was, he could do it with his eyes closed. I mean, it was incredible. And you will notice that so I've already picked the 49ers to win. You will notice that I'm picking underdogs in most of the games, but not for the Bucks Rams ones. I still have Tom Brady pulling it off. That's it. I'm done betting against Tom Brady. I've lost a lot of picks, a lot of fantasy points, a lot of whatever you want to call it, betting against Tom Brady. So it's Tom Brady for me. Okay, let's stay with the NFC.
Sorry, I assume, Darla, you're going with Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, we didn't ask her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, cool. Now, Rams Bucks. The Rams looked really, really good. The defense showed up. The offense was clicking. I've seen a lot of memes and articles talking about how Baker Mayfield was so bad that he had us believe that Odell Beckham Jr. was done, that he was washed. That wasn't the case at all. So, Coach, I think we've all established that we feel like the Bucks are going to win this game. But if the Rams were to pull this off, from a coaching perspective, what should they do? How do they stop Tom Brady?
Well, first of all, I think they've done a really good job in the trading deadline toward the end of the season, both with the kid from Denver who rushes the quarterback really well and the receiver from Cleveland. I think that what they've done is fit the pieces of the puzzle that they needed. Yeah. Look, we can make fun of Stafford all we want, but I do believe that he can make throws that Goff could not. And I know Goff got him to the Super Bowl, and that's there's nothing to be shaken about that. But I think if LA were to win this game, I think that their pressure from the defensive line, because they don't rush, they don't blitz a lot, right? They just sit tight, rush their 3 or 4 or 5, and then play really, really good defense. And I think that's the only way you can get to Tom Brady is be able to do that, but also be able to play really good either man cover or 2 shell with some man split defense. And that gets to him. On the flip side of that, I think if they do a good job as they did against Arizona, putting the people that are their playmakers, even if they're 6-yard gains or 10-yard gains or 12-yard gains, we're not looking for 50 yards. That's how they win the game. It's almost like that. What is the ninja? The ninja is that I'll kill you with 25 million knife cuts.
Right.
I think that's how they win the game. Now, I'm not saying they can do it. I'm just saying that's how they do it.
Okay, so if we go around the room, I've already said that I'm picking the Bucks. Anyone here thinks that the Rams are going to pull this off? Anyone going with the Rams?
I do.
Go on, Darla.
Wow. We've got 3.
I'm hoping that the Rams can pull this off. I think if the Rams played like they did this past week, they have a good chance.
I see what you're doing here, Darla. You're hoping that the Rams pull it off so that you meet Matthew Stafford in the next round going to the Super Bowl. I see what you're doing there. I mean, you're not fooling anybody.
But Green Bay's record against Matthew Stafford isn't fantastic. With Detroit, let's face it. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
I think
No.
No, so anyway.
This was the game that nobody took seriously,
keep
right?
Twisting, Mark. Just keep twisting.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. That's why you're here.
Maybe Mark wants Jim Caldwell to be his new head coach.
Not particularly, no.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm going for the Rams simply because I think that Von Miller and Aaron Donald can get to Brady early, rattle him a bit, try and put him off his stroke. Look, he's the greatest. I'm not knocking him in any way, but you've got to get to him. Otherwise, he's going to pick you apart. And I think they've got 2 guys there that can do that. Biggest question mark is which Matthew Stafford turns up. Is it going to be the one from last week or the one from Detroit? It's always going to be a question mark. Even if they win it all this year, next year I'm going to say the same thing. Which Matthew Stafford? Until he does it week in, week out. But I tell you what I really liked last week was Sean McVay's play calling for Stafford. That he didn't ask too much of him. And he got him into the game. It was screens and short passes and makeable passes for the first quarter, and they scored points on them, and it gave Stafford confidence, and he played fantastically well. So if they can do that again, they've got a great chance.
So I looked at the sorry, I'm not meaning to interrupt, but I went to the Pro Football Focus, and the statistics of Mark brings up a great point. 83% of his completions were first looks.
Wow.
So how good of a game plan is that? 83.
Yeah, it's massive.
Right? And I think throughout the year, it's probably in the 60s. I didn't look it up, but 60s, 70s. 83% of the time, he never had to look at his second receiver or third or fourth or fifth. And so that makes Matt Stafford good.
Mm-hmm.
But Yujita, do you attribute some of that to the Cardinals completely falling apart in the playoffs? I mean, this was one of the hottest teams in the NFC throughout the season. And a lot of people saw that they could have the potential to go all the way to the Super Bowl. They just looked like they were out of their depth there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I heard Kyler Murray say "mommy" when he threw that pick 6. The show, I'm serious. I mean, he was all over the place, but that was because the Rams defense was just all over the place. Like Mark said, I mean, these are the 2 guys that's going to really affect Tom Brady, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, even Floyd. I mean, they went after Kyler Murray. I mean, I don't even know if he could see above his line, to be honest, because that's how fast they were coming through. And it's clear that Hopkins not being there has affected him as well. And look, the Cardinals need to figure out this down the stretch issue that they've had for 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, Cliff Kingsbury is probably, he's got to sort that out. But yeah, I think the Rams probably will do the same thing with Tom. They'll try to get to him as much as possible. And look, guys, we saw a different Stafford. It wasn't the Detroit Stafford. It wasn't the Rams Stafford either. 17 attempts.
Playoff Stafford.
This was playoff winning Stafford.
Yeah.
First win, right? I mean, he saw that the defense was doing his job, so he didn't have to do much on offense. So, there wasn't any crazy throws. There wasn't any risky stuff. He even ran a couple, I guess. But he let Akers and Sony Mitchell run up 30 times to get those yards. So, yeah, Arizona, man, they'll have to figure out some stuff there. They have a few.
The weird thing about Arizona was Eugene and I were just chatting as the game was going on, and we were calling the plays.
Because it was easy.
Really, we were predicting what the next play was.
Yeah.
And
that's very impressive. I have to tell you, that's very impressive.
Honestly,
Coach, we've been spending a lot of time with you, Coach. So I think we'll probably picked a few things up.
Listen, when a team goes 0-9 on third down, it's easy to say, "Hey, that's going to be 3-and-out." That's what it was.
It was a bit more detailed than that, but yeah, we got the pick six because
they're going to lose
all the time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, let's ask Coach this question: why would he not take safety? I mean, save 5 points on that play where the pick six happened.
Look, I have to be honest. I blame the coach on that. I blame the coach not being in his ear because there's a microphone and saying, "Listen, this is what's going to happen. You get one look, and then you do this." And I don't care what the one look is. I don't care what the you do this is, but it's not what he did.
Right.
And I think, look, I think that attributes a lot to the Rams. If you actually watch the play, they only really rushed one person.
One rush.
Right? One rusher. And then the others were trying to figure out, is he gonna rotate to the left or the right? And then they rotated that way. So only the one person got to him. That's insane in the NFL.
Right? 1 month ago, you would have bet everything on Kyler Murray evading that one rush, getting outside.
Yeah.
Mohammed, tell us, would you have bet everything on that one rush?
Yeah.
No,
he's not a betting man.
No way. No, I think I've hopped off the Cardinals train a little while ago, but I did believe that they were going to.
What was your prediction last week, Mohammed?
Yeah, but I wasn't too enthusiastic about it. I wasn't too enthusiastic about it. Just like I'm not too enthusiastic about my 49ers pick this week. But let's move over to the AFC, where the Patriots got routed by the Bills 47-17. And usually when you have a game like this that's a blowout, it becomes unwatchable. But this one was captivating throughout the whole game because of the perfection that the Buffalo Bills, our Super Bowl winning pick, by the way, from preseason, Mark Ujit and myself, this is as close to perfection as you'll ever see. It was 7 drives resulted in touchdowns, no punts, no field goals, no turnovers. This was the Bills team this was a game unlike any other. And to do it against Bill Belichick, it was a huge statement. Coach, is this kind of a one-off thing? Because it's the first time we've ever seen, 100% record on drives to touchdowns in a playoff game ever in the NFL. Or is this something where, it's a statement win and now everybody has to be worried about the Bills, including the Kansas City Chiefs?
Boy, I don't know. I have to be honest. I was not sold on the Bills. I didn't think that they had their playmakers in the right places. I didn't think their play calling was good or solid down the stretch, in those last 3, 4, 5 games. But this made me a believer, right? And you can say what you want and you can make fun of Bill Belichick, but the one thing he does well is he positions his defenses and his offenses to be in the right places at the right times. They win a lot of close games. This one, holy cow.
Right.
Everything worked, and I think that is a testament to as much of their defense not having the right play calls at the right times to as much as the offense saying, hey, when we see you do this, we're going to do this and we're going to impose our will on you. And I think that's what they did. And I wouldn't discount even though I picked Tennessee and I'm still sticking by it, man, Buffalo looked good and their coaching looked good. And the positions that they put their players in to look good, right? And they took advantage of, hey, listen, our running game sucks and our line doesn't block well against the run. So we'll do what we do. And then if Josh Allen runs a bit or a lot, we'll let him do it. And he did.
Now, Darla, the Bills go up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Do you feel that they have enough to beat Patrick Mahomes? Now, mind you, the Bills beat Patrick Mahomes in week 5, 38-20 in Arrowhead. So can they actually pull this off? They're opening, the Chiefs are opening a 1.5 point favorites. So clearly it's almost a pick'ems for Vegas.
If the Chiefs start out like they started out last week, the Bills will dominate.
Yeah.
That first quarter was, oh my God, was that painful to watch. But of course I'm going to be rooting for the Chiefs, but honestly, I don't think they have it in their tank to beat the Bills.
Wow. Mark, I mean, the Chiefs looked terrible against Pittsburgh for the better part of the first quarter and almost the second quarter, but then they just turned it on suddenly and they scored 5 touchdowns in the span of 10 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't know if that's ever been done before. 5 touchdowns. So,
absolutely relentless.
But do you feel that, the slow start is alarming? It shows that they can actually fall asleep. And we saw that in the Superbowl last year, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they kind of fell asleep and they couldn't get it going for longer than a quarter and a half. So is it possible? Can they afford to do something like that against the Bills?
No, I think if Buffalo get a couple of scores ahead, if they get 3 scores ahead, it's done. Even though we know Kansas can score a lot quickly, but, Buffalo are a little bit better than Pittsburgh. And
I tried rooting for those Pittsburgh Steelers. They were 12.5 point underdogs, and I was like, yeah, they're cooking up something. But I think, Mark, you could have thrown a ball further than Big Ben at that point. He looked washed, completely washed.
Yeah, as of now, he's not officially retired, but I don't know. It's going to come, isn't it? Let's face it. He can't do another season like that. And he's holding the rest of the team back now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, no, I think Buffalo are really looking so strong. Kansas have got to up their game to a level that they've not been at this season.
I agree, Mark.
Well, 5 touchdowns in 10 minutes might do it. Yujito, what's your pick for this particular game?
Yeah, I'm going with Buffalo, man. I mean, what Buffalo has done ever since they lost to that New England, that slow burn. Then they went out and lost to Tampa, I think, in OT. And ever since that, they've adjusted their run game. Their defense is playing like relentless. And I'll pick one play to speak to what Coach said about how they adjust to whatever formation they come up with New England in the Buffalo game. That was a Micah Hyde interception. I'm sure you guys saw this. And there was a stat about how he ran 21 point something yards in less than 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And so New England were in running formation. So, and they got the look that they wanted, the box, the 8-man box, corners up front, and Micah playing cover 1. And Mac Jones did a good job. I mean, he, pump fakes trying to get Micah in, but he didn't fall for it. And then he chases this down less than 3 seconds. And he was, I think, 14 seconds away from when the pass left Mac Jones's hand. And he was there in a flash. I mean, that was unbelievable. I had to see it 5 times. So this, relentless defense and being able to adjust to whatever formation is happening. I don't think KC, they've developed along the way, but I don't think they've developed enough. Mahomes is playing great. I get it. But if this was between the 2 quarterbacks, I will go with Josh Allen. I think this one's going to be a big scoring game. I have it probably 60 points in this game, but I think Buffalo come out of it.
Coach, I think there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the system that the Bills have put in place. When it comes to the coaching, the consistency, they brought Allen on. His first year wasn't great. He didn't play well. They stuck with him. They developed him as a quarterback, and now he looks absolutely amazing. Have they taken a page out of the Patriots book there, and now there is some kind of stability in that organization where the future looks great?
You know, I think they're committed to what their quarterback does for their offense, right? And they don't, I think that first year they tried to stretch him a bit, and they did maybe more out of what he was capable of doing. Where now, as New England's done with Mac Jones, they do what he's capable of doing, whether that be, a horrible defense in Carolina or a really good defense in whomever they play. I think the idea is you take what they give you, right?
Right.
And with that, I think he builds confidence, and I think their offensive coordinator is probably going to be a head coach of
Possibly.
one of these teams, because I think he does a really good job of taking advantage of what the defense doesn't do well. It doesn't mean the defensives are bad. It doesn't mean the defensives can't perform. And I think it's important to know that Josh Allen has embraced that as well, right?
Right.
And so can they do confidently what Brady has done in New England for years and years and years, and what they've done with Mac Jones for this year? I think what let them down was they just got overwhelmed. Yeah. And that doesn't take anything away from New England. Great coaching job, great job this year. I think that speaks a lot to what Buffalo can do and will do moving throughout the playoffs.
Right. Now, the least watchable game, I think, in the playoffs or in the lineup last week was the Raiders against the Bengals. But a lot of people have been singing Joe Burrow's praises and the way that the Bengals turned up for that game. They outduel a Carr 26-19 win. I mean, Mark, do you feel that this was a missed opportunity for the Raiders? Because watching that game, I noticed one thing. The Bengals' pass rush was almost non-existent. There was no pass rush whatsoever. And Derek Carr did not take advantage of that at all. So if it was any other team other than Pittsburgh, maybe, they would have taken advantage of that, and maybe it wouldn't have turned out this way.
I think Derek Carr was really disappointing last week. He had a QBR of 69. He did one interception as opposed to Burrow with 0. And maybe that was the difference in the end. It was only a 7-point game after all. I do think it's a very big missed opportunity for Vegas. I think they could have done it. But I like Cincinnati. There's just something quite solid about them at the moment. So maybe it was a step too far for that group. But they're going to come back. And I hope that they give Bisaccia, is it? I hope they give him a chance, give him a year or two. Because I think to take the team from October the way he did, in the mess that they've had, to get them to the playoffs and within a score of going through was a fantastic achievement. So I hope they give him a chance. But with the Davis family, you never know. But I actually enjoyed the game, I've got to be honest. I know it was the least enjoyable or least watchable, but I enjoyed it. It was the first game. It was playoff football. The level was up. The intensity was there a lot of the time. But I think it was a missed opportunity.
Now, Yujita, the key to the Bengals throughout the season has been the Burrows-Jamar Chase connection. If the Titans manage to neutralize that, do the Bengals have enough weapons and enough ways and schemes that they can actually still put up a challenge to the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, I think they do, but they're definitely going to have a tougher time. The Tennessee, it's a more physical defense that they faced in the Raiders. They're going to be all up in Joe Burrow's face. But I think what they need to do is I mean, he was methodical last week. He wasn't, going crazy on the passes. I think they should still try to get that run game going. Mixon, doesn't matter how many yards per carry you get, but just keep it a threat enough to then let the play action take over with Jamar Chase and Higbee. I mean, they've got enough weapons. Tennessee, on the secondary, they might be overwhelmed with all these receivers, catchers coming from the place. So I think that's what they need to do. Yeah, definitely he's going to be hurried. He's going to be pressured more than anything else. But he's got to keep the run game going and then use that to go all play action and stuff. And I think it's going to be a tough game, but I think Tennessee has the edge, to be honest.
Has the edge. Now, Coach, Tennessee was your preseason pick from the AFC to go to the Super Bowl. They're 2-3 in home playoff games since relocating from Houston. Do you stand by your pick? Do you think that they can actually pull it off against the Bengals, or would you jump ship now to the Cincinnati side?
Well, I don't know.
No, it's that kind of season, huh? Coach is wave the white flag. I don't know.
I don't know.
Tennessee has the 31st or 30th ranked pass defense, and that scares me to death with Burrow and Jamar Chase and Boyd and T. Higgins. Yeah, but at the same time, how do you take care of an explosive offense? You run the crap out of the ball.
Right.
Yeah. And even without Derrick Henry, who I think Derrick Henry's probably going to come back, they've done a really good job of filling those blanks, of still being able to give that identity. Yeah. And their weapons, if you want to call them that, on the outside are healthy for the first time in, maybe since the middle of the season. And so if you run the ball pretty darn well, which they've done, you've got a lot of play action that opens up. And I just think that equals ball control. And I think that's how you neutralize Cincinnati's offense, right? And I don't think Cincinnati's defense is all that great. I'm not saying they're bad. I just don't think they're all that great. So then you get into, yin and yang. So I'll stick with Tennessee. I just think they ball control it and they win a very low scoring game.
Well, I haven't done very well betting against you, Coach, this season, but I'm still going for the Bengals to edge it out, 29-24. Darla, what do you have for this game?
I have to be loyal to a family member and root for the Bengals.
Nice. Okay.
Easy work.
What a reason. What a reason.
Oh, man, family. I know you, Jita, your brother is a Giants fan and you go at each other's necks the whole time. But, other families are a bit friendlier.
Hold on, Yujita has a brother.
Yes, he does. And he's a Giants fan. So, it's
that's
an
the reason
NFC
why
East,
I became an Eagles fan to start with. When the Giants won the Super Bowl, he shipped out a whole box of Giants gear to me.
No way. Wow.
Yeah.
So you could have been a Dallas fan, let's face it.
Imagine getting Dallas merch instead. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'll trade you Giants for Dallas anytime you want.
I'm going to say no. Not even thank you, just no.
Before we wrap up, I want to actually go back to Darla and ask a question on if, for some reason, the 49ers win, or in the next round, the Green Bay Packers, you've said it on your first appearance here, it's Super Bowl or bust for most Packers fans.
Yep.
If they don't make it to the Super Bowl, are you guys done with Aaron Rodgers, despite him being an MVP caliber quarterback, despite him being, one of the most superb quarterbacks in NFL history? With all of the stuff that's happened this year, are you guys ready to move on to another quarterback and just start a rebuild, or is there a way back for Aaron Rodgers next year?
I think the real question here is, will Aaron stay?
Okay, so you're throwing the ball back to Aaron's corner, right?
The fans are going to support him. Even if they don't get to the Super Bowl and they don't win the Super Bowl, the fans are going to support him because, let's face it, he's a great player, right? And it's very unusual for us to not be in the playoffs. What are you laughing at, Eugitha?
He's laughing at Mark.
It was Mark's fault.
Mark is making all kinds of faces.
Yeah, he was
you know?
distracting me.
Oh.
Yeah, he was making faces. You're talking
Okay,
about Aaron
well-
Rodgers.
So I don't know. I think he'll be back, unless he chooses to go.
Okay. Now, if he doesn't make it to the Super Bowl, however, I mean, we've talked about the Dallas Cowboys as an organization just perpetually underachieving. With one Super Bowl only for Aaron Rodgers, this is considered an underachievement for a player like that to have only one Super Bowl. So, I mean, you might have put a lot of the blame on McCarthy in the past, but now he's got an amazing coach. And if they're unable to get to the Super Bowl, shouldn't there be some kind of a fight to pick between the fans and Aaron Rodgers here? Let's not even consider all of the vaccination stuff and all of the other noise that's been going on there. And what does it take for you guys to say we don't want you anymore, Aaron Rodgers?
Sounds like a Chicago problem.
We've got our quarterback. We're okay.
It's easy to tell a quarterback when they're not doing a good job that we don't want him anymore. And it's not just the quarterback that takes the team to the Super Bowl. So, there's so many factors in it, and I don't think the decision of keeping Aaron or not is based on, like, I don't see him as being an underachieving quarterback, Mohammed. I'm gonna argue against that because it's tough, Mark. I am going to say that.
You're entitled to your opinion, absolutely.
It takes more than just a quarterback to make a good team. So there you go.
Look at me asking all these difficult questions that supporting a team that
Is
find a quarterback.
Is Mark
can
feeding
complete
you
one
questions? What is going on?
Yeah.
Is Mark feeding? Is Mark feeding?
I think
Probably.
he is. I think he is.
Probably.
Hey, one last thing. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is 0-3 against the Niners in playoffs.
Oh,
Keep
interesting.
that in mind, people.
Interesting fact.
I'll take Green Bay.
Thank you, Coach.
Well,
1-3.
I don't want Mark feeding me questions, but his organization has been trying to feed my organization an offensive coordinator in Matt Nagy. We don't want him. Thank you very much. I mean, you fired him, and now he's interviewing for OT.
He's a quarterback guru. He's a whisperer.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna even get started with the Panthers, but Matt
Well, the
Nagy,
good news
Nagy. I mean, like, it's
he
just
will trade for Mike Glennon and pay him an awful lot of money.
18 million. Yeah, let's do it. Let's
And
do
play
it.
him
That
full
seems to be the
time.
magic number.
Yeah.
All right, Bengals, Titans, 49ers, Packers, Rams, Bucks, and Bills, Chiefs. We've got an excellent 4 games to look out for. Darla, thank you for joining us, for giving
Absolutely.
us a perspective. Green Bay Packers.
Thanks for having me
good
back.
luck,
Packers.
and
Thanks
we'll
for
see
having
you
me
guys
back.
next week.
And hopefully I'm planning on telling Mark I told you so. So
You're the team that's the only one alive. So
that's
well done.
right. That's
No.
right.
Well, nothing will say I told you so better than a Super Bowl championship, but let's see if that
Wouldn't that
happens.
be? Absolutely. Great seeing you guys again. And
See you
thanks
guys.
again for
See you next week.
Good to see you,
having me.
Darla.
Take
See
care.
you later.